Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Blue-Black Control with no reserve list cards. That's right, this entire deck can be built for like $800 or something like that. Let's take a look at the mana base first. It's just a bunch of islands, a bunch of swamps, a bunch of fetches, and an Undercity Sewers, which can help us kind of bridge like a blue-only fetch into a black land if we need to. And it can also, it is a good card. Surveil lands are good. And these are inexpensive, unlike Underground Seas, which are like, you know, $600 or something. So let's take a look at the creatures. We have 4 Orcish Bowmasters. We have 4 Baleful Strix. We have 4 Mockingbird, which can copy Orcish Bowmasters or Baleful Strix. Pretty good card, and it's a blue card that pitches a force, and it's a 1/1 at the very least with flying that enables Kaito. Kaito hits the table and takes over the game pretty quickly. We also have Goyf in here, which is a great late game win con, and we have tons of interaction. We've got 4 Thoughtseize on top of our normal 4 Force of Will. We have 6 removal spells across 4 Fatal Push and 2 Shield Edicts, and we have 2 Nihil Spellbomb. I love this card, and I think every deck that has access to black should probably be playing 2 because it's just so good. And then, back to basics. And when I say it's so good, 50% of the meta use their graveyard for something, basically. We have 2 more Nihil Spellbombs in the sideboard. We've got 4 Force Negations for unfair matchups. We have 3 Hydroblast for red matchups. We've got 2 Harbinger of the Seas. She's really good and a nice complement to Back to Basics. We've got a couple Engineered Explosives, which come in against Chalice decks and Construct decks. And we've got a couple Disruptor Flute, which is just a very flexible card that has impressed me lately. I think it's way better than, you know, like Meddling Mage or something like that. The fact that it has Flash, the fact that it can stop a creature or like a card or an ability on a card that's already on the table, like a One Ring or something, makes it really good. So we're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a fair gamer. This hand's fine. I like the Bowmaster plus the Mockingbird because they're probably going to have Bowmasters of their own. They're probably playing black-white, like Dead Guy L style stuff. They may have some Felly in the mix. Oh, green. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to Thoughtseize them. They're probably on Critical Control. And then next turn, I can Bowmaster ping that. But we'll take away their 3-drop that they're ramping into. Interesting list. I mean, Questing Druid is a pretty damn good card. Yeah, I think we just take Questing Druid and leave them with the Bolt. If they do the Sylvan Library, it's okay. We have Bowmasters, but they will have a Bolt for that. I think the card to take is Questing Druid here, though. So, yeah, we Orcish Bowmasters, and then they, like, if we get a window to, like, copy the Orcish Bowmasters is quite good. So we could Sylvan Library and then end step. They're probably going to Sylvan Library now, unless they do something better. Okay. So their hand is Catacombs, Bolt. I do want to ping this. They're going to get 1 trigger off of it. It's probably okay. And then we don't have anything to Mockingbird, but we do have Kaito coming, and I think Kaito can probably lay down the damage faster than they can stop it. So I'm going to just proactively Bowmaster now, and they're going to have to use their Bolt on Bowmaster to be able to draw cards with Sylvan Library, which is going to tap their life lower. But it's worth it to deny the mana. So this is a 2-for-1. And if for some reason they don't remove this, I can't imagine a world in which they don't, then we Mockingbird and we create a second one. And that's really what this deck does. Just gets lots of 2-for-1s. That's how we pull ahead of like the decks with more powerful cards. But our opponent's deck looks extremely fair. I'll be very happy if they go low in life because Kaito can punish that. There's the Catacombs we know about. Their hand is completely unknown. 3 cards now. All right. That means we can Kaito this turn, which I am going to do. Let's go ahead and... Yeah, I mean, this Nihil Spellbomb probably doesn't do anything against them, but I'll brainstorm later. I want to get Kaito on the table. Right. Now they know if they have a Bolt, they should Bolt now. Oh, no! We freaking gave the game away! We told them that they needed to kill this! How humiliating is that? That is so humiliating. My goodness. Atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. But the fact that they're playing Tarfire tells me they're probably playing like, you know, Nether Goyf or Bear Goyf or something like that. What do we want to do here? Gosh, we could find another Bowmasters. I'm going to brainstorm. Yeah, this is the imperfect brainstorm. Humiliating. Absolutely humiliating. I tapped that land in the attack step before. Oh, no, they have a freaking Bowmaster. Well, I'll Bowmaster their Bowmaster. I'll show them. They're going to have a giant orc, but I'm going to have the last Bowmaster. Oh, they don't have the Bowmaster. Okay, well, that's great. So Undercity Sewers, absolutely going back. We've already played our land for turn. We could just draw this Prismatic Vista to clear it and keep our options up. I think I like that. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and play out the Mockingbird I think if they had Bowmaster, they would have Bowmaster there. Because Mockingbird does enable us to Kaito next turn, but the way they fetch, it does make me think they have a Bowmaster. They're just like, no, he's got a Daze. I'm sure he's got a Daze. Why wouldn't he have a Daze? And like, we don't have a Daze, so our Mockingbird is going to die. So I think we just need to wait. All right. This is like shaping up to be a great match where I'm immediately punished by the most tiny of punts. The absolute smallest problem thing you can do is tap a land and then untap it, you know, but it communicates so much. All right, let's play this. And then if they Bowmaster and stuff, we can, they have lots of tasty treats in there. So like a Goyf or really anything that uses that graveyard. I am thinking that they probably have Pyro Goyf as well. Like, why would you play Tower of Fire if you're not playing a whole bunch of Goyfs? They might even have actual factual Tower Goyf, but I think he's been completely crept out by power. Okay, they take it. And they may not actually have the Bowmaster. Sith Cat is fine. I have a Fatal Push for that. But please invest in that. Okay, I'm just going to nuke their graveyard while I'm ahead. I don't think it's a big deal. I just want to draw a card. Oh, wait, I'm going to draw the fetch, and then I'm going to draw the card I didn't want to draw, which is the Surveillant. That was a punt. Yeah, it's a small punt, but I actually could copy Sith Cat. I kind of like doing that because I immediately get like double land drops. Hopefully they don't have a Fatal Push. They are low in life, though. All right, I've got a Sith Cat too. Fetch. Okay, so the put a +1/+1 on it, and then if you resolve it a second time, okay. So this is the Fatal Push, as expected. You're no fun, opponent. All right, it's fine. There's no reason for me to fetch here. I already have a known card on top, so I'll just save this for next turn, and I may actually just cast out the Kaito. So I'm hoping they dig and find hoping that they're going to do massive damage to me, but I do have the Fatal Push to cover it. This Sylvan Library has been good for a lot of cards. Yeah, they've done, it's been like 2 cards. I mean, it is an edge, but I don't think it's a great card these days. Stalactite Stalker. Yeah, that's going to, I mean, they're so low, but we're not going to be able to connect with Kaito, unfortunately. So if I just push this now, then we don't have to worry about them putting counters on Stalactite Stalker. Okay, so now the landfall doesn't trigger, so they can't put counters. Stalactite Stalker actually becomes a pretty good removal object because he has this ability: 2 colorless, 1 black. Target creature gets -X/-X. 2 cards in hand. Oh, that card is a good card. All right, what do we want to do here? I think we want to brainstorm, maybe get rid of this land. And again, if they have the Bowmaster, it's a beating. But yeah, this is phenomenal. I'm going to put back these excess lands. Actually, I'd rather keep the swamp around. And life may matter, so yeah, I'll just fetch once instead of twice. Okay, options. We could bait out removal with Strix. I think that I like that. So I'll shuffle away the lands that we don't want. Grab my island. So happy that we get to play Fair Magic today. Strix is in. Nary a Bowmaster in sight. Just pile them on. My goodness, this is great. And when, at this point, these Strixes represent like serious threats. Oh, and Bowmaster too. You don't say. All right, so they can't really draw any cards. It would be inadvisable unless they have some sort of lifelinker that I don't know of. I mean, Goyf's a lifelinker. If they Goyf here, it's actually pretty powerful. But I do have my own Goyf. And actually, Goyf is going to die to the Strixen. Maelstrom Pulse! Holy cow! I have not seen this card in years, and it's very good here. Has anybody seen this card? Like, Maelstrom Pulse. Total throwback. But they killed both of them with one thing. I remember when that was printed, I was like, nobody's going to play Vindicate anymore. And the real reason nobody plays Vindicate is because everybody plays Daze. Vindicate's very bad against Daze. Okay, so we could just double ping this. I think that's fine. I mean, like, just remove the game piece. Yeah, and then they're definitely not going to be ping. I mean, we could just ping them too, but what's the fun in that? Like, I want to do something fun since I'm almost certainly going to win this game. All right, they could push with this on the stack. That's pretty good. And now they can't even draw off their Sylvan Library. So, yeah, the Maelstrom Pulse was cool tech, but you're going to need another one. Do you have a second Maelstrom Pulse? If you do, then we still got a ball game. They opt not to use the Sylvan Library. That would have been death for them. A lot of lands over there. It's very cool to just play it like against straight up like Jund in 2025 in Legacy. Okay, Pyrogoyf is a good card. You can kill one of our creatures. That is the flying one. I guess I'm just going to be Goyfing. I mean, I could... Actually, I just Kaito and I stun. I have enough life. I could Thoughtseize too. I want to do that. Yeah, let's Thoughtseize and just figure out what's going on over there first. Okay. Molten Collapse is quite good. Green Sun Zenith gets anything, including cards that like fight and stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the Green Sun. And then I'm going to Kaito. And then I'm going to stun. Now they need to draw another Power Goyf to win. But they would probably win if they did. They don't have enough mana to both kill me and... Yeah. Kaito, showing his flexibility in this triumphant game 1. Hydroblast comes in. I think Thoughtseize comes out against the aggro deck. Thoughtseize is a great card against combo. It's not a great card against just typical... it's also good against control. But I think Spell Bombs could come in. Harbinger, they have plenty of basics over there. They, like us, are a basic enjoyer. Yeah, I think I'll just do 3 now Spell Bombs. Wait, Back to Basics comes out. Yeah, that's it. If we're cutting that, then I think we could probably bring 1 negation back in. Yeah. Or 1 Thoughtseize, rather. Negation's not good against their creature deck. I'm having fun already. Hope you're having fun too. Fair Magic, that's where it is. This is not a good hand, but it's an okay hand. And it has a Bowmasters. I'm going to keep it. Like, we have plenty of mana. And, you know, we're not playing duels. We could get into a snag where we regret the fact that we don't have... And we can just get the kind of stinky ETB tap land out of the way here. They may open Thoughtseize. It's a pretty typical way for these Jund decks to open. Badlands. You are playing duels. Okay, Stalactite Stalker. That's fine. I'm not going to freak out about that. It's a good card, but it's not a force. Force will be like the late game Goyf. Okay, so unfortunately we drew our Thoughtseize, which I don't even really want to cast, considering they've already got 2 damage per turn on the table. I'm just going to do this. Vista, nice dodge. Opponent Bayous. Now I'm kind of regretting not keeping Back to Basics in, but I don't think it's correct. It's a 3-color deck. Maybe I should. Ignoble Hierarch is a great Bowmaster target. We'll take 3. That's a lot of damage. All right, Barrow. Going to deliver us from evil. I do want a Bowmaster now. Let's go get an island with this one. Crimp their mana. 2 for 1. Pass. So next turn, if they keep attacking, which I expect them to, we do have the potential. Okay, Sith Cat. This is a good card. Is it force good? They're down to 3 cards. We've got Barrow coming. The main thing is I'm worried that this could outcompete Barrow. They probably have a land as one of those cards too. I'm going to just... Call me crazy. But I think that this is a force. They don't have Pyro up. Okay. They've got 2 cards functionally over there. Sith Cat, this is not going to attack. So they do get to level it up. Barrow's a 3-4. They could level this up and then kill our Barrow, which would suck. Options. We could Thoughtseize just to make sure that they don't have removal over there. And then we can now take a turn now spellbinding them. That does remove our creature type from the yard. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize. Green Sun, I'm so glad I Thoughtseized. My goodness. That would have been anything they want, basically. Like, really powerful stuff. Okay, and now we know they have a land in hand, and I think we're safe going ahead and playing out the... This will get a swamp. Play this Spellbomb out. We can nuke their graveyard. I don't think they have any Delve creatures. I can't attack. I'll pass. Okay, I think they're probably going to come in for a hug here. I don't think this gets better for them. I think they're absolutely beat down here. I've got a lot going on my side of the table. If they have their own Bowmasters, it is unfortunate, but I'm going to risk it. They do have to Bowmaster before I get to decide. Now I get to decide. And it's too late for them to Bowmaster me. Mockingbird is sick. Oh my goodness. Absolutely powerful here. So, Barrow is so big and so strong at this point, I think it's fine to jam him. We could Brainstorm. I think I'm just going to Barrow. And then I hold up Instant, which gives it an additional toughness, right? No, we've got Instant in there. Yeah, I'm just going to Barrow. And then next turn, if I can copy Barrow, it's just GG. Flying Goyf. All right, we'll just be patient here. The game gets better as it goes on. We just need to not die for a few turns and swing in with Barrow. If they take out Barrow, it sucks, but we can copy Bowmaster and get stuff done that way too. The important thing is they're only drawing 1 card a turn. And I think our draws are... Well, they actually probably have better draws at this point than we do. Because they have Green Sun Zenith and Pyrogoyf and stuff like that. Pyrogoyf cannot kill Barrogoyf, thankfully. That is unfortunate. We could brainstorm into Force. Is it worth doing? I think it's worth doing because this card is so strong. We can't brainstorm into Hydro. There's actually a pretty low chance that we brainstorm into Force. I'm going to let them have this. I know that like a lot of people might be, but you could have brainstormed. Yeah, it's like 3 hits and 45. I don't like our odds. We'll see. If we draw, then it'll be result-oriented thinking. Okay. I'm going to start by pondering here because then I can brainstorm over the top of a Bowmaster if they have it. Shielders Edict. I mean, that clears the path, and Shielders Edict is a pretty good card, and we just chill for a few turns. Yeah, we can manage their... Yeah, I'm just going to keep this. And if I don't need that for some reason, if I decide I don't need it anymore, I can just shuffle it away. But they don't have the mana to use the ability, so they do have to just lose their creature. Yeah, so we're just going to play it slowly and carefully and keep these awesome cards in our hand that our opponent does not have access to. They don't have Brainstorm in their deck, you know? Their trade-off is their creatures just have a higher raw power level. This is totally fine. I'll just come in for a hug. I may... See, do we want to... We know we have at least one dead card on top. Like, Mockingbird's pretty dead right now, but Mockingbird will be great if they play something good. Tarmo. Love it. I was hoping it would be in their deck. Well, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to have a flying Tarmo. How about that? And then after I copy it, I'm going to get rid of their Tarmo, and then I'll have Tarmo Supremacy. Mockingbird. Going to be quite big. I haven't seen this card in so long. They're playing Goyf deck, and I'm here for it. I love it. Let's go ahead and just nuke this. I think there's a higher likelihood we need islands. Okay, so Force later. Okay, and now they have pit black, don't we? Okay, now we just come in for our 1. Okay, and they just scoop. That was great. That felt great. I love playing fair on fair. They're favored in that matchup, but we had some pretty good draws, and I think we like took some bets that paid off. Like brainstorming when they could have had a Bowmaster and stuff like that. We just got lucky. I think they had some pretty bad draws. See you in round 2. Round 2, we're up against combo player. They play a lot of Sneak and Show. This hand's insane. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them. Okay, Blood Moon. So they don't have a turn 1 Blood Moon, do they? That could lock us off blue. We could just force it. The One Ring is probably the scariest card in this hand. However, the real card... Man, why are they playing Urza Saga their Blood Moon? This hand is terrible. And the fact that it's terrible makes me want to take the Fable so they can't fix it. So the One Ring is definitely the card we have to beat here. Spellbomb does nothing, but we are going to get our basics so we can ignore Blood Moon itself. My hope is they just play like the Sundering Eruption out tapped. Sometimes people will try to cast it as a spell, and it is randomly good. Like I wish they hadn't printed this card because it gives them non-basic, like basic land destruction. It's basically like a Stone Rain, but it's also a land. Thankfully, should they cast it against our deck, they are going to find that we have a lot of basic lands in there that we can keep getting more basic lands. So I'm not worried about this card at all, and I'd love for them to cast it. Normally, if they think we're on blue-black tempo, it would make sense to target their swamp or target their island because they only have 1 of each. All right. Mox it is. They put the Blood Moon under there. That's too bad. So they are going to go the Saga route, which we are less likely to be able to counter. Trini. I think we stopped this. We don't have a second land. Yeah, they went pretty deep on this. So their hand is Sundering, Eruption, One Ring. So next turn they do have One Ring. But we're not going to be able to force next turn anyway. So yeah, we do need to stop this. Okay. So now Spellbomb's not a good card. Let's just draw through it immediately. I can't think of a reason to wait here, but we will. If they find some fast mana, we may find ourselves facing down a One Ring, which would be catastrophic. So they have the ability to create constructs, but they don't have the ability to cast One Ring yet. And this Urza Saga is going to go away, which is nice, which is why I don't recommend playing Urza Saga in your Blood Moon decks. Okay, 3rd basic. It's fine. I do think we're going to lose just because the One Ring's a broken card. This should probably be banned. I'm trying to say that like non-sentimentally because I know some people might be, well, you always complain about bans. Like, it's a freaking One Ring. It's been banned and everywhere else. I mean, we could draw... What would be a 1-drop we could draw that would... Well, we draw like a Ponder. Yeah, I'm just going to use it. This doesn't do anything against their deck other than like make Netherwolf a little worse. We do need to draw a card. Okay, Brainstorm. That's a Force of Will. I'm not going to risk not having a Force for this One Ring if they cast it. We'll deal with these constructs. We've got a Fatal Push. They could create 2 constructs, but then they're down to 2 mana, and we kill one of the constructs, and then we just kill whatever the next thing. Okay, so they're not going to One Ring this turn. Lava Spur. City of Traders. Okay. So we are taking a lot of damage here. We're taking 9 damage, and we're dead on board, basically. They haven't cast any spells. City of Traders is great for them because it's like, it replaces double mana, so now One Ring is live for next turn. Yeah, this is not good. We need a Goyf. Oh, Strix is pretty good. But if we Strix, then we don't have... We might rip a... Yeah, I'm gonna dare to dream. We can always brainstorm into a potential Fatal Push. Oh, perfect. Just the absolute nuts here. So we force the One Ring, and then we push one of those, and we trade with the other one. Yeah, I'm not going to risk whiffing on this force. We're at 6. Okay, and I will just fetch here. I mean, we're dangerously low on life, but they don't have any board presence here. And it's too late for them to Fury or anything, so I can just push here and block this one. And we're back to parity, but our deck has much better top decks than theirs. Granted, they have like broken top decks in the form of like another One Ring, but our deck has just good overall quality of cards. They have 2 cards left. I am going to risk this. If they have a creature, we want to like they can Lava Spur and kill us. Okay, and this is precisely why you do this. Babel is brutal. Actually, Babel is lethal. Babel's lethal if they play their card right. Oh no, yeah, they can just equip the damn token and kill us. I'm gonna make them see the line, but if we leave them with the One Ring, there is a chance that we survive. There's no chance. Like, we should assume competence on the part of our opponent. I'm not hallucinating, right? They have 1, 2. Yeah, they have the mana. So they're going to One Ring. This is precisely the kind of degenerate stuff that I hope they wouldn't draw into, but they drew very well. We sit around. If we find a Bowmaster next turn, maybe it does something. Because we can like ping and create a big dude, but Shatter Skull, that kills their land. That's fine. Okay. So we don't know what's in their hand. They have 1 unknown, and they're going to have 2 unknown next turn. Ponder, let's find that Bowmaster. Come on. Please don't do it. Fatal Push probably doesn't do it. I think we're dead. Yeah, this game started out fantastic, and it's hard to identify where it went wrong because we drew everything we needed to. But the fact that they drew like Fable and One Ring, Magus doesn't matter, but they can equip for lethal. Wait, they don't have the mana to equip for lethal. Oh, and we can also push it. So they do. And we don't have the ability to Fatal Push because we don't have Revolt. Good game. Okay. So we've got Hydroblast here. Force Negation is probably worth bringing in. I don't know actually if it's worth bringing in because Disruptor Flute does come in though. I feel pretty confident about that. The fact that they're playing Chalice and probably Constructs, maybe we bring this in. Maybe we do 1 and 1. Split the difference. I mean, this sideboard probably should be 1 Engineered Explosive, 1 Disruptor Flute. Back to basics. I don't think it's where we want to be. Like, they're already like, one-shotting their lands and stuff. I don't know. It might be okay. But they also have artifact mana. They've got treasures. I think this is too slow, frankly. These spell bombs definitely come out. Everything else looks good. I don't like to keep Thoughtseize against an aggro deck, but I actually think it's correct to keep it here. Goyf is insane here. The previous list had 3 Goyf, and maybe we need 3. He's been very good already in the league. Previous round. I'm just going to cut a Ponder. I think it's reasonably likely that they have like Chalice in their deck and 15. Yeah, maybe we cut a Thoughtseize just out of respect. Well, Thoughtseize is so good. I mean, Thoughtseize was really good there. It's just that they had too much gas off the top. You can't Thoughtseize the top of their deck. Okay. This hand is not keepable. This hand is okay. It's not atrocious. It's not good, but it's not atrocious. I want to keep... And Goyf is going to probably solo them. Engineered Explosives, like, we don't actually care about Chalice here, so I'll just put it back. I'm going to play the Delta because if they dump their entire hand and it doesn't have a Blood Moon in it, then I'm not going to bother grabbing a land. If they do, I'll probably have to grab a Swamp so I can get Barrow out. Okay, that's good. That's a good start for us. Do we want to Surveil? It could help us find land number 3. And I am looking for land number 3. Yeah, I'm going to surveil. Also, surveil is a terrible top deck. So by surveilling, you get it out of the way. There's land number 3. And now we can have both of our basic colors. And this deck only uses those basic colors. It doesn't really do anything outside of those. So I will play this just in case they do Blood Moon. And then I'll be very happy because they just wasted a bunch of mana on a card that probably isn't going to have an impact on the game. They may have sided out the Blood Moons. It is the most powerful card in their deck, but it's only powerful against... Oh, yeah. So they... Is this Blood Moon? Trinisphere. This is fine. This is not the fight. We're just going to hope that like, slows them down enough. At this point, we don't want to draw more mana. So I am going to go ahead and just fetch the island out. Just to thin. And this is where, like, Trinisphere resolving means Ponder is atrocious for the rest of the game. Force is pretty bad. But I'm going to live in a world where Barrow does stuff. See, Barrow's a 1-2. That's really freaking small. Do they have anything that can do damage? I don't think they do. I'm going to go ahead and just Barrow because I want to... Next turn, I do want to copy Barrow and then have 2 Barrows. Yeah, I don't think that they have like a deal 2 damage to target creature type effect. If they do, it'll be pretty embarrassing, but it'll have to, you know, deal 3 because it'll be a type that goes to the yard. Okay. So the Urza Saga, I like the Barrow Goyf versus Urza Saga matchup here. Shield's Edict's fine. I think we just copy the copy the Mockingbird. These are already 2/3s. We could attack in, and if they create the construct, then we can Shield's Edict, and then that grows the Barrow Goyf, and we connect. I like that. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any real risk. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and attack. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. Cast. Sacrifice a creature token, please. Now our Barrow Goyf connects for 2. We gain some life. We get our ability. Okay, and we whiffed, but we made Barrow Goyf quite stout. So they're going to have a hard time beating Barrow Goyf in combat, especially after there's 2 of them. But if they find Barrow Goyf right here... Okay. The other construct... These forces are pretty terrible. I'll use them at some point, but I think it's correct to just keep piling on the Barrows. This will be a 3/4. They could get the Lava Spur. Okay, they get a Mox. They need a land drop to do something here. They do have a land drop. Legend ruling their city. Is this Pyro? One Ring. I can't do anything about this. I can Disruptor Flute it next turn. They immediately tap. I am going to Disruptor Flute this. Hydroblast doesn't do anything here. I think it is correct. Like, I think we're taking a chance if we... let them tap 1 ring ever again. So I'm going to flute. Okay. No point in attacking here. So they take 1 from the ring. They could Fury plus Construct or... Yeah, Magus of the Moon doesn't do anything here. I mean, it's like an additional blocker. Okay. Disruptor Flute is probably going to be a 2 of post board. Okay, I think we just copy with Mockingbird. I don't want to... Yeah, I could copy with Mockingbird and then attack in and kill both of these. I think that's fine. So next turn we'll be hitting them with the flying one. All right, so the risk is that they have like a Fury or something. And yeah, I'm just going to come in for a hug. If they want to lose both of these creatures, they can. Okay, that's fine. Barrow's at 5/6 now. We can pass. I feel like we've won this game, but like there may be some sort of card that I'm not thinking of that can take out Barrow Goyf. Oh, Unholy Heat, but I don't think they're going to be playing Unholy Heat in their Chalice of the Void deck. If they Pyro Goyf, it can only hit once. They don't have the mana to double Pyro Goyf here. They do have a lot of mana. They could just chain 1 rings to buy time, but that doesn't solve their underlying problem. That's pretty good. I can't do anything about that. Barrow Goyf is 7/8 now. They're on a very short clock. They're on a 2-turn clock now. Send me a Spirit Guide to chump. I'm just going to probably Hydroblast that and attack in anyway. I need to get their life total down. I could just freaking Bowmaster here. I think that's actually fine. I'm going to be patient. I'm just going to Bowmaster when they do this. Because that'll put like a ton of power on the table. What? They're taking it? Yes, I would like to... Well, I can't believe they didn't block. Okay, I whiffed? Okay, well that sucks, but it happens. All right, we'll just wait until they tap it. Yeah, letting this Trinisphere resolve is probably a mistake. I think it has only helped them. The fact that I'm not able to double spell. All right, we're putting a lot of material on the table. They're like super duper dead here. I think we hit them with the first one, and then the second two we hit the Spirit Guide. Do we hit the Spirit Guide? I think we just hit them. Yeah, they scoop. Okay, cool. All right. I mean, Engineered Explosives is not nothing. I didn't see Chalice in there at all, but maybe they haven't drawn it. I think on the draw, it's going to be a lot harder for sure. I definitely think 2 Disruptor Flute is correct here. We could take it a Ponder. I mean, Ponder is pretty embarrassing when they're like so deep in on Trinisphere. I don't think Back to Basics. Like, I don't know if they played a single basic there. I can't remember, but maybe 1 or 2. I don't know. I mean, it might be okay. I think on the draw is less promising. We really just got lucky drawing Goyf, frankly. And maybe Goyf should be a 3 of in the deck. I don't like having so many 3-drops. We could go down to 1 Back to Basics. Back to Basics is really good against certain decks, though. I think I'm going to cut some Thoughtseizes on the draw. In fact, I think I'm going to cut them all. I don't want to be doing damage to myself. And then we can bring back in, maybe Force Negations. Do we want all the Force Negations? Harbinger, they changed the Urza Saga rule, so Harbinger doesn't kill Urza Saga anymore, which is really annoying. I wish they hadn't changed that, but I understand like their reasoning. I think EE could come out. I don't know. It like blows up a lot of stuff. I want to bring actually a second one in. And then I'll just bring in a Force Negation. And we're just trying to survive the first few turns, really. I think if we survive, then card quality takes over, and we do all right. This is a Force Blue card hand. It's only got 1 land, but it does have a Brainstorm. It's risky. I don't like it. Because we have to use, like, I'd like a basic, ideally, and I'd like a second land. Let's try. This is basically the same hand, but it has Goyf in it. It doesn't have a force. I think we have to mulligan this too. Okay, this hand is slightly better, but it's still no force. We could potentially ponder into a... Gosh, can we win without Swamp? I don't think we really can. I think I'm going to keep, and I'm just going to put back the Edict and the Kaito. This is a super, super weak hand, but I'm wary of digging any deeper. I mean, we do have double island, so we're not doing nothing. Okay, it looks like they have a slow start, which is a huge blessing. Okay, and now we have access to a swamp. I think we just ensure that we have access to swamp. I don't have anything to do with this, but I just don't. I would hate if they were to like Ancient Tomb, Blood Moon, because if they Ancient Tomb, Blood Moon, and we have this out, we're fine. Okay, Fable is annoying, but it's not the end. At this point, I don't really want to draw lands. I guess I could draw a Brainstorm. This Engineered Explosives does blow up the Goblin token, but that seems like a pretty weak play. I'd rather just Strix here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get the Swamp just because I want to reduce the likelihood of drawing land. I know it's a minor thing, but Bowmaster is pretty damn good. Yeah, we can give them the Bowmaster dilemma where we ping this and then they have to choose between, you know, getting cards and losing their boy. Bowmaster is quite good against Moon Stompy. Do you want to discard and lose? No. They don't even get to attack, but they choose to anyway, so I'm just going to block with the army. Now, if they don't have a way to remove this, a lot of things they can do are less scary. There's Chalice. We do have... Okay, so I think this is probably like a great Engineered Explosives turn. Oh, the One Ring. Yeah. All right, and they used their treasure token, so we're not going to get value out of that. This is just going to ping me. Unfortunately, there's no other legal target. Ouch. Obey your master, Bowmaster. Okay. I think we just Disruptor Flute. I would like to clear this Chalice. We could... If we clear the Chalice, we lose the Orc Army too. It's pretty minor. I think we stopped the drawing. Like you could argue we already stopped it. Okay, so I'm worried about playing Baleful Strix because they're probably just going to rip a Fury. Well, I'm going to definitely play this land. Well, I think. I mean, like Pyro Goyf is practically GG with Fable out. We would need to find removal. The removal is almost certainly going to be a 1-drop. I think we clear the Chalice and then we ponder and try to like maybe find a force. They Bowmaster, they take a bunch of damage. They One Ring, they take a bunch of damage. We're just gonna do this. Not super jazzed about this, but I do think it's correct to clear the Chalice. It also blows up our Orc Army that we pinged ourselves to get. Now we ponder. There's the force Force for Baleful Strix. These cards are fine. I don't want the Delta. I think we have to take the Force just in case they do something super degenerate here. Like a... I mean, it's not degenerate. It's just powerful. Like Pyrogoyf would be powerful with the Fable out. Then we may actually have to Disruptor Flute the Reflection. I would love to stick this Strix. I don't know if it's in the cards. Shieldred's Edict gets rid of the Fable, but they're going to have like a lot of cards. They should tap now. Otherwise, I'm going to hit that with their ring activation. Okay. Urza Saga. Not too scared of it. Broadside. There's one of those things that you just have to stop, frankly. It's just too strong. Now they only have colorless. They don't have good attacks with Fable. They can't activate the ring. We could name Urza Saga here. We could just edict. I think we just name Urza Saga. It's really freaking hard. I mean, this is... Then we have the land on the top. I do want to clear this Fable. Clear the Fable. I attack for 1. I pass. They get to create a construct. How bad is that for us? It's a 2/2, but then they have another one. I think we have to clear this Fable. It's just so powerful. Next turn we have Disruptor Flute and a fetch. Again, not the greatest, but we did have to stop that broadside. I don't think our prospects for winning this are great. They've got plenty of mana. Hopefully they just go in on Urza Saga. Another broadside would be catastrophic. Blood Moon. Yes! Oh my goodness! That is so good for us. Can this still tap? It doesn't have any abilities. Okay, great. This is actually huge for us. So we can't shuffle, unfortunately. I don't believe they can do anything. Like, gosh, I just don't understand. Okay, I don't understand the rules, and I'm terrified that they still have this ability. I think they still have this ability. That's so messed up that they can do this now. I'm so pissed they changed the rules. Let's test. They're just going to activate it, aren't they? I can't believe they can do this. How is it fair that they can play freaking Urza Saga in a Blood Moon deck? That's not fair at all. And they can keep it like this forever. Blood Moon, this actually makes Urza Saga even more insane. What a bunch of BS. Sorry, but like this is just like a ridiculous interaction. And it's all brought about by some ridiculous rule change just to make some Final Fantasy characters playable. Okay, whatever. They smashing and we lose and I'm so tilted. I'm so tilted by that freaking Urza Saga interaction because I totally could have needled Disruptor Flute there. Yeah, and we're like, I mean, we might draw something out of this. Like a Goyf would help for sure. They're 10. Maybe they die there on One Ring before we die. Fatal Push does answer this construct. I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna try not to be too tilted. I'm just try to make good decisions from here on out. But it's so ridiculous that Blood Moon would actually make Urza Saga stronger. What were they thinking? Broadside. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. I don't have Revolt because of Blood Moon. This card that should do absolutely nothing against my deck just soloed my deck. I'm going to hope to find Revolt. I'm not going to kill this thing. Gosh, they're just so far ahead. Yeah, I'm like, this is the most BS interaction I've seen in years. The fact that Blood Moon makes Urza Saga better. We're at 5. Okay. They've got 2 cards in hand. They threw their one ring at us. I'm just going to wait till combat. And then I'll blast it. I mean, it's possible they draw like a Hydro. But I'll live in that world. So they can't boast. In their freaking Chalice deck, of course. They can't kill me if I just push this construct now. I'm sorry. This is like the most angry you're ever going to see me. This is like the most frustrating game of Magic the Gathering I've played. And I've been playing against like Oops, Mississippi River, and crap like that. So we need exactly Hydroblast or we're dead. Or if they just have something, they can play it out and throw it. Yeah. All right. So again, I'm trying to be dignified here, but that was BS. All right. Let's jump over to the next round and let's try to stay positive. All right. Round 2. Up against the Big Empty. Which I think is probably a reference to the Stone Temple Pilot song. They've been playing a lot of 8-cast recently. We can take a look at their list. Bowmaster is going to be very good here. They're doing the broadside thing. Memory's Guardian. This is not a favorable matchup. It's not an atrocious matchup. This hand is Island Ponder Keep. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just Island Ponder Keep here and hope that we force like They're not playing... Well, we don't know they're playing this, but yeah, I think this is fine because if we stop like a Emery, that's pretty good. They're not a... They are an Urza Saga deck. They're not playing Blood Moon, as far as I can tell. So hopefully I won't tilt like I did last time. Okay, I'm going to keep this. They mull. All right, double force. They have mulled. Oh, let's keep it. Let's keep it. Why not? Actually, I'm not sure that that's correct because they're probably not going to keep force and they're mulligan to 6 because they know I don't combo. Like they watch the channel, so they know I don't play a combo ever. So there's that one time, that ill-advised time that I played Omni Show. So I think I'm going to take the Ponder instead. I'll take the land now because I have a redundant Kaito that's definitely going to be the pitch to force if we need a force. Seat. Tommy. We got our answer with Shieldred. I'm going to let it. Bobble. I'm going to give him a 0 value Tommy here. Going to go grab a swamp. Tommy down. They opt not to correct the bobble, which may come back to haunt them if we find the... okay, what is this? Thoughtcast. I'm going to let it go. My dream is to stick back to basics. Come on, give me a land for the back to basics. Come on. Ah, that's not a bad card. I do want to make a land drop here. I think I'm going to... Well, I could Strix. Yeah, I'm going to find a land. I'm going to dare to dream. If I don't find a land, then this is terrible anyway. So, all right, we did it. I guess we'll keep these forces. Next turn, we are going to go to back to basics town. And then we're going to go to Kaito Town shortly after that. Double force up. Love it. I think back to basics is going to be really strong against their deck. I doubt they have removal. Yeah, that's it. Tap those lands. Tap those lands. Yeah, you can stock up all you want. Stock up all you want, friend. You are not going to have mana to spend those spells that you're about to get. And I'm going to double force to protect this if I need to. They may have Otawara in there, but that costs a lot of mana to use. Another tomb. Oh, yeah, tap that too. Sure. Servant. I think Servant's fine. I've got double force up. I'm going to let it go. Now Urza Saga could solo me, actually. But they would need mana for that. Use that pedal. Thoughtcast. Sure. Just use all your mana. I'm not even fighting on that axis that you're fighting on. Okay, this feels good. They have done a lot of damage to themselves, too. Let's go. We actually have triple... Well, we don't have triple force up, technically. Back to basics. All right, the first force. Let's force back. Kaito. They're bobbling me, I guess. I can't even remember what's on top of my deck. I think it's a blue card. Back to Zen. Now we can swing. Just keep them on a tight clock. Next turn, Kaito can come in and we still have double... We still have force. If they figure out a way to... Like if they find a grindstone. Opal. That's a good card. It's turn on. I'm going to let it happen. There's Urza Saga. That will kill us. There's the grindstone. We got to force it, unfortunately. Sorry, my excellent friends. I think we're going to lose to this Urza Saga here. I'm going to Kaito, though. It's possible, like, Kaito scale up. We might be able to race him. Because they're only going to have, like, 2 mana. There it was a blue card. Yeah, you can't have them all. All right, we're going to come in. Just going to Kaito here. Bring us back to hand. Okay, so we have to find... We've already used 3 of our forces. So I don't even know how we win, actually. So we hit for 3. Let's see. If we plus, then we hit for... Okay. They may not have the mana to create a dude. So they're going to... So we've really just got 1 attack step. So plussing isn't going to get there, unfortunately. I think what we need to do is surveil. And then if we find a land, I can use that to ponder. Yeah, I think this is fine. This Mockingbird is probably okay, but it probably doesn't matter. I think we're probably better off putting it in our graveyard. We need exactly that last force. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, let's top. And I'm going to use this to ponder here. Time is of the essence. Other cards that could say... Oh, actually, Fatal Push is fine. If we just find a Fatal Push, we're probably okay. Or Shield Edict. So we've got 5 outs. I think that's it. They've got 2 cards in hand. They could have a force for a Fatal Push. There's the Fatal Push and the force. I'm going to take the force now. We'll take the Fatal Push next turn and we can force it through. What a freaking lucky ponder. My goodness, that was an insane ponder. Okay. This is a great game. Like, I'm having so much fun here. They can create a dude, but then their Urza Saga doesn't untap. Please cast, like, cards that draw you cards or whatever. Tommy. That's not of consequence. at this point. Okay, they attack Kaito. All right, options. We only have one swamp. We need the black to kill this. So I think I just come in. I could stun the Tommy just so they don't get clues, but I don't think that's the issue. I could plus. I think it's better to just draw cards. When in doubt, draw cards. They're probably just going to take this. Oh, they just block. That's fine. That just means... Oh. Yeah, okay. I'm going to draw instead of plussing. Second Fatal Push. I think that's fine. I don't really want to win this Brainstorm. I guess I'll hold it just in case. I don't know what it would... Why it would matter. And I'm going to do this after they've searched. Because I do have Force to Protect. And I want them to invest as many resources as possible in trying to grindstone me. Now, if they have their own force... Okay, there's an island. Okay, and they are grinding me. They put a bunch of stuff in our graveyard. Okay, they can attack if they want. That works. Now I'm just going to hold up this Fatal Push plus Force, and I'm just going to start attacking them. That's the safest thing to do. Another Opal. Legend rolling their other Opal. They have another card to cast. Black cast is fine. So this flips Tommy, but it doesn't really matter. I can just kill her, or I can just ignore her. I can't kill her. I think if I just plus 2 turns in a row, that deals with her. Yeah, I'll just plus, and then I'm just going to attack. I don't know what they regrow here that kills me with so little land. I'll hit them for 3. I do have Fatal Push if they find a blocker. But I need to keep this swamp up, so I'm not going to use my Baleful Strix. Okay, Urza Saga. That can't currently create blockers this turn cycle. Emery is good. They can't immediately use her. Okay, they plus Tommy. So they're dead, I believe. They have 1 card in hand. I'm going to end step push. Wait, I can't. I can't end step push. I can just stun and attack for lethal, though. Clue Crack is fine. Okay. Wow, that was fun. Sideboard. Engineering Explosives is very strong here. This is one of those matchups where Harbinger would have been good before they changed the damn rule on Saga. Now it's like a liability. Like their Saga just never goes away. They can just keep creating constructs forever. That really sucks. I'll quit lamenting that. I know you don't want to hear it. I think this is a pretty favorable matchup between the Strixen to stop their constructs and other aggressive creatures. Yeah, I think we just take it the Spell Bombs, which are not useless against them. I mean, they do stuff, but I think I want the Thoughtseizes. Maybe I don't want Thoughtseize. On the draw, Thoughtseize feels pretty weak. Plus, they're an aggro deck. I think I'm going to take out the Thoughtseizes, and I'll just bring in a couple Spell Bombs. Because I could see like a late game Thoughtseize being a really annoying draw. Disruptor Flute does, like, they might be playing the One Ring. I think I'm going to bring in the Flutes. Like, a lot of my entire assessment of like how Legacy works is thrown into question now with that whole, rule change on the Urza Saga. This hand doesn't have a path to a second land. Back to Basics is obviously very good against them, but so is Bowmaster. But like, if we don't find a second land, it doesn't really matter. We got 18. We're only playing 18 lands because we're not playing Wastelands or anything. I think we do want to mulligan this. This is better. Okay, this is a really good hand actually. So I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna put back the island, and then we're gonna hook up Bowmaster, and then copy our Bowmaster, and then copy our Bowmaster. Tommy, I think, is okay because we have Bowmaster to rein her in. If they have Force for our Bowmaster, it's pretty bad. I want to make sure we have Force to force back. I should have technically played the island there because I had Brainstorm and I might need to emergency Brainstorm. And I would like to, have the potential to shuffle one of the cards back. That's fine. All right, they're Painter Servant. I mean, this is scary because if they just have Urza Saga, there's nothing we can do about it currently. But I want to resolve my Bowmaster, damn it. Yeah, that's what I want to do. All right, I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to use the Bowmaster now, and then I'll protect it. I'm not going to try to get them. I'm going to try to shut them off from doing stuff and timing things. Well, Thoughtcast is a instant, right? Right now, they could have Metallic Rebuke. Technically, no, I don't think they could. See, I'll just do this now. All right, we're in. Their clues are not going to be super useful. Then next turn, we just play a second one, and then we play another one. And in the meantime, we just hope that they don't find the Urza Saga that goes and gets the Painter's Grindstone, or the Grindstone. In my opinion, they should have attacked with the painter. I don't think there's any downside to it. But they may just want to, like, you know, they use their life total. Wow, that's a lot of artifact lands. Stock up is fine. Not the fight. Think of how huge Urza Saga constructs would be here. EE is pretty cracked. I think we're better off just Bowmastering, though, and EEing next turn and maybe high rolling even higher. Yeah, I mean, none of this stuff really needs to be blown up that badly. It is a good thing to do, but it's not what we need to be. Mockingbird. We could have, like, dug for a land there and maybe done it with a brainstorm, but whiffing would have been embarrassing. Hopefully they force this. Metallic Rebuke. Not the fight. Not the fight. So we'll just chill for a turn. I am terrified that they just find the Urza Saga. They've seen a lot of their deck. Urza Saga is bad for us on so many dimensions. Okay, they get to create another clue. But I mean, these constructs would be like, what, like 8/8s or something? 9/9s? Another stock up. I just have to let this happen, I think. I think it's an incorrect force here. It's worth noting that if we do EE for 1, if we find a land, then not only do we take out the grindstone, but we also take out the another stock up. They're absolutely going to find this Urza Saga. I know it. But I just, like, I've kind of like already gone down the path of not forcing. They must have a lot of air in their deck, like Lotus Petals and stuff like that. Too bad I don't have Meltdown in my deck. My goodness, can you imagine how good a Meltdown would be here? I think there's a decent chance they're finding Metallic Rebukes. May have put back a land when we mulliganed, and that has slowed me down a lot because I'm just casting 1 spell per turn. I like to think they have like a bunch of like thought casts and stuff like that in hand. But they have been getting card selection. Sorry, I've got like a super squeaky. Okay. So they stock up and then they play a Petal, which makes me think that like Petal might have been one of the things they chose. That's great for us. I could brainstorm first. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, second force is great. Strix is good. I do think that we want a Bowmasters. I don't want this land, but it is our way of shuffling. I guess I could just put it on top. Engineered Explosives might be necessary. It might not be, now that we've got double force. Oh, wait, I can shuffle. Yeah, I'm going to shuffle away the Delta. I know this is kind of wrong, but I kind of feel like shuffling away the Brainstorm. I could shuffle away an EE. I feel like that is going to be good later. I'll do that. Now, I'm thinking about just playing out a Strix instead of playing out the second Bowmasters. That does take us down to 1 force. We're down to 1 force anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Mockingbird. And I'm just gonna target the Bowmaster. See if they want to force this. They do have Metallic Rebuke mana again. I think we let this resolve, unfortunately. Yeah, that sucks. But it's a 1-for-1. Yeah, like this game feels like I'm playing in mud. Like, I don't know why it is, but yeah, they're creating more clues. Eventually they will clear this Bowmaster somehow with like an Otawara or something. Probably uncounterable. We're doing nothing and they're stocking up for the 3rd time probably. There's the Otawara. I can't do anything about that. And now they can cash in a bunch of clues, brainstorms, really anything they want. I'm going to let this happen. I'm just going to Bowmaster again. This flips. It's okay. They can plus. They can start regrowing stock ups. I am going to Bowmaster here. I think I've said that 3 times. Okay, what is your last card? Okay, there's the card that I need to stop. Thank you. Thank you for just playing that out. Gosh. I think that, yeah, we have to pitch the Strix. They're cracking a clue. This had to be done. They're probably just going to play an Urza Saga and play one in 2 turns. Okay, they didn't have the Urza Saga. That's great for us. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and... I mean, I can just blow this for 1, and then I just don't have to deal with her. But I should have let the freaking Grindstone resolve, and then I just blow both of them. That's so dumb. Why didn't I make that mistake? Or why did I make that mistake, rather? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just do that. I guess I could have attacked. It doesn't matter. It would have gotten debuffed. I am going to ping the Tommy here. I'm going to attack, even though I don't have anything. Like, I feel like I might as well attack. Okay, they block. Yeah, I'm not sure where I went wrong in this game. Like, you don't want to be 2-for-1ing yourself to stop their 2-for-1s. Generally, when they could just this is a big spell. I think we let it happen. Gosh, they're getting so close to finding the card. I know it's crazy, but I'm going to just force it. I don't want them to find Urza Saga. Urza Saga is death for us in 2 different ways. And if their last card is freaking Metallic Rebuke, I'm going to tilt. Okay. Yeah, not happy with how I played this game for sure. Okay, they're just minusing to go get a stock up. That's fine. Now, at this point, like, since I've spent my force, unfortunately, like, engineered explosives doesn't even help me here. I can blow up all their clues and their mocks, but that doesn't feel good. They probably find the Urza Saga. They've been digging so hard for it. This is like the third time they've cast stock up, I think. They didn't find it. That is a huge blessing. Come on, deck. Give me something. I don't deserve anything. Okay, Ponder's more than I deserve, frankly. Another Bowmasters would be fine. These all day long. My goodness. These are... Okay, thank you, deck. I'm just going to come in with a hug, and then I will Bowmaster. I'll actually Bowmaster either way. Do you have a force? You have a force. Okay. Well, that sucks. But hopefully Goyf does something here, because, I mean, Goyf is going to be freaking gigantic. I can tell you that much. Thoughtcast. Sure. Just in case they try to draw, it's probably more impactful to ping the Servant. If they just find the Grindstone, we're dead, unfortunately. There's the Urza Saga that I feared all this time. Emery too. Gosh! Now they can get back the freaking Grindstone. Yeah. Good game. I'm not going to waste any more time. There's no way we win. Because even with this giant, like, Urza, the Orc Army and stuff, they just return it next turn. Engineered Explosives can't get big enough. We could EE... No, we're drawing Goyf, so we're not drawing land, so we're not going to have the mana to both Engineered and... yeah, that was travesty of a game. Like, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my play, maybe it was just... But it's like slow, freaking tortured, dying to... And you just felt that game slip further and further away. Dotsies is practically a 2-for-1 with the number of 2-for-1s they have in their deck. I think we just keep it the same way it is. Now Spellbomb would have been live there for sure. That Engineered Explosives was both so good and so bad at the same time. It's hard to describe. All right. Urza Saga just became the most powerful card in the entire... I think Urza Saga is going to completely warp Legacy now. Moon Stompy is going to be tier S. I mean, it's greedy to, like, put back a Bowmaster hand. However, yeah, this is... I think what we do here is we just Surveil. Yeah, this hand is too good. I'm going to keep it. Surveil, and then we Brainstorm next turn. And if we get lucky, that's great. If we don't, it's going to be a non-game. But I'm not going to put back a hand that has, like, all these cards. This is a great combination of cards. Disruptor Flute can completely stop Grindstone. And it can do it in a way where they just can't do anything about it. Okay, so don't have an explosive turn 1. Don't go aggro on me, please. There's the Grindstone. Okay. So, I mean, they could just Painter and kill us next turn. It's terrifying. I'm just going to stay the course and try to find a land. If I find a land off the top, then we do just Disruptor the Grindstone. I don't think there's another play, frankly. We just have to respect the fact that they could have... I mean, we wouldn't necessarily be dead immediately. Maybe we wait a turn. Let's just hope this hits a land. It's unlikely. 16 cards in 52. It's unlikely that we find a land here. I'm going to bin this, which tells them that we don't have any land. Find a land. They just force us. They just win. They just win anyway. Oh, they just win anyway. Yeah. Not a feel-good turn. We ponder, we shuffle away. I mean, Kaito's pretty far from useful. Yeah, we're not even going to be able to... Like, basically, they get, like, 2 turns. Where, yeah, I think now Spellbomb goes back for sure. I'll shuffle that away completely. And then I guess I'll put this Ponder on top in case they, like, have a Thoughtseize effect, because that's literally the only thing that's giving me any hope. I could absolutely just concede now. And maybe that was a greedy keep. But, like, this is a really good hand. Like, we've got lots of counterplay to what they do. This Painter... No? Stock up? Okay, that's fine. There's a moment's reprieve before the storm. Okay, they're checking our top card, seeing that it's the pawn we're about to draw. All right, this should find a land in 4 cards. They force it. I'm just going to accept that. I've got another Brainstorm. It's a Time Walk. They get their land drop again. Another Bauble. They're drawing closer and closer to Painter each turn. Ancient Tomb. Now they have Painter. Love Spur, okay. If they have, they don't have it. They only have 2 cards in hand, so we've been very lucky, considering how unlucky we've been, if that makes sense. Now we draw a card that we didn't want. We're going to go ahead and Brainstorm here. We're probably not going to hit a land. They are just going to rebuke it. So they're just Time Walking again. I can't pay for this. Okay, so the good news is we're going to draw an unknown card, and maybe it's land or a ponder. If it's land, we just Bowmaster. We just hope that Bowmaster can get us there. Probably. There's the Urza Saga. So these constructs are going to be huge, but we can't blow them up if we find a second land. There's the Painter, so we're dead. Good game. Right, round 4. We're up against, or round 3 rather. Round 4, yeah. We're 1-2 after losing to Painter and a very frustrating round with Moon Stompy. But this hand looks good. We're up against a likely blue-black player. Whether they're blue-black Reanimator or blue-black Tempo remains to be seen. I'm going to keep this because we have the Island Ponder keep hand. We have Thoughtseize, which may be really good. Baleful Strix is really good against Tempo decks. We have removal. I'm liking this hand. I just wish it had 2 lands. Wow. Asking you shall receive. We don't need all these. In fact, yeah, I'll just take 2 of them. If they Thoughtseize us and they see Prismatic Vista, they're going to know we're no threat to them. That we're some dirtily control deck that doesn't play Days. Because you wouldn't play Days in a, you know, unless you were playing like mono blue, but they're going to see our hand. They're going to know we're on blue black. So, Flood Strand. Volk Delver. All right. Can we get lucky with this Bowmaster? I believe. Let's grab a Swamp, and I'm just going to go for it. And if they Daze, it's okay. We have Fatal Push as a backup. If this lands, it's huge. It'll probably get Dazed. They have like a 30... Yeah. They have like a 38 or 40% chance. Maybe 42 because they drew a card. So Baleful Strix can also clear it out. In my experience, even though that does happen sometimes, you do want to go for it because it's just... It wins you the game, basically. It flips. Daze enters revealed area. That's good to know about. I'm just going to Strix. I'm going to assume they're not on Grixis and that they don't have Bowmaster. And this way we can play around Daze. And then we can fetch our Surveil in the instep since we already have our colors. DRC. That's a good card. I think I do want to get this Surveil. Decent chance this gets bolted or just... Yeah, I mean, it's a 2-for-1. Shielded Edict's another great card. Yeah, we're drawing the removal we need to win. So I'll just trade with whatever they attack in with. That DRC is eventually going to be strong. They may have a bolt. So far they've had like literally everything they need to be able to beat us. Nothing we can really do. It's a 2-for-1. We just hope that we survive to like benefit from these 2-for-1s. And the fact that we drew lands to play around Days and stuff like that. DRC not being Delirious yet is pretty crazy. Pretty good. Okay, they fetch. Back to Basics is pretty good in this matchup just because it like kind of comes out late and shuts off a lot of their outs. Okay, so they're not going to be Delirious, which is good. They kept their top card. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Murktide. So we do need to get through all their creatures in order to be able to stop the Murktide. I'm trying to think of what they would keep here, and Murktide is the only thing that jumps to mind. But maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. Bowmaster is our best draw. Let's go ahead and see if we can find that Bowmaster, shall we? I want to bin that. I'm looking for Bowmasters. I'll brainstorm and shuffle away some chaff. That is going to get shuffled away, I think. Mockingbird is pretty damn good here. We can just mock the DRC, and we have a 3/3 flyer. Thoughtseize goes back against the Lightning Bolt deck. See, we do have Delirium. Yeah, so I think what we do is we just double copy this. I'm just going to copy once here. And then I'll Fatal Push the Shielded Edict. This will have to collide. I could wait. Again, I'm not sure what they would keep on top. I think it makes sense to just push now. Then we can also Surveil here. This does give them Delirium, by the way. If they want to keep their DRC alive, they could do something to keep it alive. Goyf is absolutely going to stay where it is. That card is insane. Even against... Yeah, and I think I hold the force to ensure that Goyf resolves, and then we win. They're coming in for a hug. That is A-OK. I will block here. We'll trade. I just turned my... There's blue removal right there. I think the safe thing to do here is to just go ahead and edit their Merc that they're probably casting right now. Wasteland. So Wasteland does make it so we can't cast. Yeah, so we're just going to chill, I guess. We can't do anything here unless they want to... If they want to Merc, then they give us Shielded Edict, which we can do. We have to wait for another land, though. before we can cast our game-winning card. Yep, there's the Merc that we expected, so I'll just edit it. If they double days here, then at least we can Barrier Goyf the subsequent turn. They could have another Merc. I would probably just force it. They force here. Well, this is the fight, unfortunately. We do need to stop this. We're low enough on life. Card they exiled was days, so we can go for Barrier Goyf next turn. They have one card left in hand. It's pretty good. Okay, so I mean, they could just randomly have another days, or they could draw a days, but I am going to go for Barrier Goyf. They have another Merc. Oh, Ponder, thank goodness. Okay, they will probably find a Merc. I don't think they're actually looking for days here, but if they're really smart, they might think like, okay, what is a card that my opponent would keep? Barrier Goyf. Baleful Strix is also good here. Yeah, that's fine. They have one card left in hand. It'll be so embarrassing if they just daze and we lose our barrel. Come on, give us a land. Okay, that's fine. Makes it so we are definitely in. Unholy Heat still kills this, but they have used one of those. All right, and just like that, I think we're winning, but let's see. This is not as big as a Murktide would be. We would gain some life and we'd buy some time. We're going to get some information here? No? Okay. Well, that's good for us too. They do have Delirium, so they can kill this with Unholy Heat. I'm just going to go ahead and come in for a hug here. I think they're just going to chump. Double Bolt would also do it. Okay, wow. That's great for us. So now Barrier Goyf is going to become probably even bigger. Maybe like Kaito hits the yard. Strix! Yes! This game is over! Alright, but we can keep playing. I will not play that land out. I'll just chill. Like, they need some miracles. I don't think their deck is capable of beating us from here. Not pre-board. Okay. Sideboard, we're taking out the... we're bringing in the Land of the Void. Or, I'm sorry, the Nile Spellbombs for sure. I bring in the Hydros. I take out the Thoughtseizes completely. I think we could probably take out one Back to Basics. It is like a late game card. This is an incredibly favorable matchup. I think this is like a 70-30. If you think about like the effect of Strix, Bowmaster, we can take out a Force. No, I want to survive. But I take out Basics. Like the second one doesn't do anything anyway. It's a redundant effect. All right, game 2. We're up a game against Delver. Blue-red Delver. This hand's fine. I'm going to keep this. Hydroblast is great. We can mock their DRC if they start with that and use it to our own advantage. And Mockingbird does lose the blue color, so Pyroblast doesn't work against it once it's out. Is this the God Hand with DRC into Bobble? DRC. All right, no Bobble. That's good. So I think the simple thing to do is just blast this. I don't want them to get any value. They made days and get value that way, but like I just respect this card too much. The entire deck is basically this is they call it Delver, but it should be called, Channeler as an archetype. All right, they daze, they get value, protecting their dude, their chick, and we can still mock it. But Mockingbird has more uses than Hydroblast. Hydroblast is really just there to kill DRC mainly. We do have Big Boy Barrier Goyf up in here. And that is an extremely good card in this matchup. How did Mockingbird get in their graveyard? Are they playing Mockingbird? That's really cool. Yeah, Mockingbird is one of my favorite cards, for sure. Like I love creatures, and I love just the fact that Mockingbird is finally there's a clone without any real downside. It's scary. All right, they're coming for one. Yeah, I mean, like we could die very quickly here. They've already got 3 types. In fact, I think it behooves us to brainstorm and try to find a Fatal Push or a Blast. So I'm going to try to do that. Edict is slow. We don't need these many lands. I'm going to put these lands back. I know we have to fetch and take points of damage when we do it. Do I want to put both of them back? I'm not sure that I do. I think I mock one of them, and they probably just daze that or force it or just kill it with a bolt. But it can grow, and it can trade with one later. That's a mana efficient thing we can do. Just pondering, I don't think is the answer. But I do want to be able to cast this Barrier Goyf. They've already used a days. I don't think we can wait around to try to play them around days. Not on the draw. So yeah, I'll put a Swamp back. Then I will put back Ponder. No, I'll put back a Brainstorm. Okay, and now I'm just going to go get a Island. And I'm going to mock. This at least puts some material on the table. If they don't interact with this, maybe like I can trade in combat, but I think that'd be pretty risky. The other alternative is we wait and we try to mock the Goyf, but that all assumes that Goyf is even going to resolve, and I'm not sure that's going to happen. Notably, even if she doesn't have Delirium, she does fly, so she can still chump in a pinch. This is the blast, or the bolt probably, and that's fine. That would have been 3 damage aimed at our face. Do they get Delirium? They keep. I mean, like, I would shred because I would want to get Delirium here, but maybe they really need a land. That's a land. Goyf is going to be a big boy when he comes down, but he is not. Like, they could have Unholy Heat on top. That'd be something you would keep. Brainstorm. Okay, so they are using this now. I don't know why they would keep and then not keep. Maybe they're just confident with the Brainstorm that they're going to find another land, but they may not find it. Wait, they already did play a land. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why they kept the first 2. I can understand why they keep something that they saw and like decide they want to keep it in the Brainstorm, but so next turn, the scared thing to do is to go ahead and shield Edict one of them and ponder, see if I can find a Baleful Strix. That'd be the best thing we can find here. Because we just need to buy time, and that also puts an artifact, which gets Goyf a little bit bigger. We want to get him up to 6-7 ideally. I can't believe we're taking 2 damage here. This is crazy. I don't want to critique my opponent because I don't know what they saw, but like, oh, now that we drew the second one, I think I'm just going to play the first one. There's a very real chance they have a daze, but we have a second backup one next turn. And even if they like kill this, we have a second backup one, right? This is outside of bolt range. They may force here. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to assume they're going to fly over and hit us for 6 this turn, but we will gain some life back, assuming they can't kill this. They could borrow it out of play, and they could tempo us with Borrower. Borrower is an insane card. All right, so this is definitely going to get them delirious. Like, how could it not? Okay, another Mockingbird of the yard. They're playing a lot of Mockingbirds. Like, there's risk in playing more than one, because if you have like 2 Mockingbirds in your hand, then like they can't really copy each other. So they're just like crappy 1/1s. One good thing about Mockingbird that I always like to remind people is it can't get chaliced. You can just pay extra mana, even if you are just playing it as a 1/1. Or if you want to copy something else, like let's say you want to copy a Goyf and there's a chalice on 3, because your opponent's crazy and they put a chalice on 3, then you can just pay 4 and it goes through. Still 1/1s? Come on. Okay, Ponder, that is going to make them delirious. All right, and they have tapped out, so they need to find both like a Valk and an Unholy Heat, or a fetch. Red mana and Unholy Heat. That's the only way they're getting out of this. I think they found it because they kept. If this connects even one time, it's a really big deal. They might keep a Merc thinking Merc can brace him, but it can't, in my opinion. All right. Ponder makes Barrow a big boy. Our opponent has done a lot this turn, that's for sure. Okay, there's the Valk. Do they have the freaking Unholy Heat? They're coming in for a hug. It's really risky to let us tap out there or do stuff. So, options. 1, I think we can just attack and then play the second Goyf, but we're dead to Bolt plus DRC. I think if we Ponder, yeah, we could find a force. But then we turn off the option of Goyfing. I'm just going to attack. They saw like 20 cards last turn, so I expect them to find an Unholy Heat here. Or not. Or not. Okay, wow, that's pretty insane. Come on, give me a Strix. Give me a Strix. Oh, we whiffed completely? Okay, well, that sucks. Okay, now, what do we do? We could play a second one. They could double bolt us. I'm going to Ponder. I want to find a freaking answer to one of these, like a blast or a push or something. Okay, there we go. Strix. Exactly what I want. I'm going to Strix and I'm going to blast. Land for turn. Strix. We're in. I have no idea what there is in their hand that they haven't interacted. They may have a daze for this. I'm going to try it. I assume that they have like a Merc in hand, but Shield Edict is going to deal with that. They Brainstorm. Okay. I would definitely have Brainstormed. Well, they didn't know. Yeah, they weren't going to find a Pyro. Or a, okay, they've been a Bubble. So they're just getting value for they're getting their Surveil trigger off this DRC before it dies. But even like Murktide isn't going to get them out of this now. It could be a straight up 8/8, and we've got, Baleful Strix doesn't care if it's a 2020. I guess technically if it's a Merit Lage and it's an indestructible 2020, then it does. Okay, there's the Unholy Heat. So the cool play they could make here would be to like make DRC non-delirious so they don't have to attack by Murking. And I'm fine if they want to Merc here because I've got the Shielders Edict and I've got another Goyf. They're down to 3 cards. They Merc. It's pretty big. I imagine it's going to be full size. Then they have to have... I'm trying to think. They would have to have Force Blue card to stop Shielders Edict. And if they do, then I can... let's see. It's pretty important that this resolves, huh? I think I'm going to Ponder first. See if I can find a Force. There's a Force. These are all fine cards. So I'll just keep the Force in hand, and I'll just go ahead and Shielders Edict, and then I'll pass. And I'm going to go ahead and do it now. They could have another one next turn. All right. So we have Fatal Push on top of our deck. We can play a Goyf out. We've got Force. I feel pretty confident we're going to win. Like another Merc would be annoying. They could have Pyro, though. But were they tapped out last game? Last turn they were tapped out, yeah. Okay. I'm going to Force. They're going to Pyro, and then I'm going to stick the Barrow, and then if they have a Bolt, they might be able to finish me off before I can regain life. They might also just trade. Okay, it would make sense for them to have Pyro at this point. This just shows the resilience of the deck that like we've thrown so much hate their way. Yeah, they had the Force. So, okay, that sucks, but like, what are we going to do? They have to have Bolt now. This is 6/6. It's not even lethal if they have Bolt. Our Barrow will actually be like similarly sized. They should probably hold back their Merc. If they have another Unholy Heat on top, that does it as well. Drawing Fetch, which can Surveil. And maybe dump like a Planeswalker in the yard so that we can survive combat. Okay, they're choosing to attack, which I question. If they had another Merc, they would have cast it before combat. This could be Brazen Borrower, which would win the game for them. DRC is not going to win the game for them. I can just push that. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play this out because I want to Surveil. I'm going to just push here. I could max the likelihood of finding... Well, no, if I find a Baleful Strix, I want to play it. There's the Baleful Strix. We could also just Mockingbird, but I think it's safer to Strix. Because this basically means they need to draw 2 cards to win. They could draw like a Pyro and a Bolt or something like that. We're still ticking up. So I think we're probably like 95% to win, maybe 99. I'm not sure what... oh yeah, that's a good card. Yeah, that'll be pretty good with our Strix if they attack in. And I can just attack with Strix and I'll attack... Yeah, I'll probably just attack with both and get Kaito out. Yeah, good game. Cool. So the final round, we're 2-2. All right, we're up against an opponent who's frequently playing Moon Stompy. I think this is just like an Island Ponder hand. I think we keep these. Got a Force if they try to do something explosive. Once we get our basics under us, the Blood Moon doesn't matter that much other than the fact that it can make unlimited Urza Saga constructs due to that role change. Yep, Mountain, pass. So this is probably Moon Stompy. All right, back to basics. Probably not good against the Mountain Pass strategy. We will Ponder to try to find a second land, and we will force pitching back to basics most likely. Okay, my opponent disconnected. Hopefully everything's going all right with Morta. We'll just wait for them to get back. Opponent's back. We're going to go ahead and grab an island here. Ponder. Hoping to line up that swamp. Perfect. So we just need a turn to get the swamp. Bowmaster number 2 is not the worst. We'll take that. All right. Bowmaster is very good against Moon Stompy because it's good against the Fable, it's good against the One Ring, and it can randomly, like, you know, win in combat. And they do a lot of damage to themselves through Ancient Tomb. So a lot of times it's good enough to do the damage. Mistrise. So, okay, so they're actually on freaking Show and Tell. Pentad Prism. Okay. You know, back to basics stops Mistrise Village. But I don't know. Like, they have a lot of mana here. They've got 5 mana next turn. So they're going to be able to use this for Show and Tell. Yeah, I don't know that there's a path forward for us, sadly. I'm trying to think of what we could find here if we were to, like, Ponder instead of Brainstorm. I mean, they're like almost certainly going to go for it because they have the mana. It's crazy. I would not have expected this card to be played in Legacy, by the way. And also, the art is extremely confusing to me. I have no idea how that shape exists. Okay, so I do think we don't have Wasteland in our deck. We're drawing a land, right? Like, our top card's a land. So I could, you know, if they do tap out here, we could back to basics and stop that. It's a very high price to stop that card. Can they do this once per turn? They can do this as many times as they want per turn. Okay, wow, double Mistrise. Please just go all in on some card that... Oh, now they're using it. There isn't it. Show and tell. Can't be countered. Okay, we're going to try to stop whatever comes out on the other side of it. If it can be stopped, I guess we just play the back to basics out because we can just Bowmaster it anyway. And that is ramp. If they don't have endurance, yeah, I guess I'm going to just play this out. Okay, yeah, it's Emrakul. The game's over. Wait. We could find Shieldred's Edict. We have 2 of them in the deck. It's extremely unlikely. Come on. Okay, Island gives me hope. Because we could ponder and then we still have the mana to cast it. Unfortunately, none of this stuff arrives on time. We have to shuffle. We got one more look. Good game. Yeah, we're not going to be able to come back from losing everything. Yeah, that card soloed us. I mean, we had everything in hand, but they were able to do it. Disruptor Flute does make their stuff more expensive. It's probably worth bringing in because we definitely want to cut these Nile Spellbombs. They do nothing. Force Negation comes in. Harbinger, I think, does come in. Did we see Valks there? We didn't see Valk. It's possible. Oh, wait. No, we did see. So I'm definitely bringing the Pyros. Okay. So, like, that's a lot of cards to bring in. But we've got a lot of cards to bring out. Namely, Fatal Push. I think Shieldred's Edict, even though we're digging it as an out, like, that's not going to be an out. I don't think we want to. We want to stop them from being able to go off. We don't want to try to kill the Emrakul once it's live. Goyf doesn't do a lot here. It's just a card that comes out slow that doesn't... yeah, it's not like... the damage isn't an issue, so lifelink doesn't matter, death touch doesn't matter, it's just the ability. We just need to trim one more card. I'm going to trim one of the Hydros. Is that right? I don't know if that's right. I think I trim a Force Negation. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be weenie beating him, basically. It's going to take forever to kill him. Actually, I should probably trim... No, I should trim a Mockingbird instead of a Force Negation. Let me resubmit. Submit. Okay, yeah, Mockingbird is not that great. Because Force is a blue card and it's also a Force effect. So you want to have a high density of blue cards and you want to have a high density of Force effects. That's my entire theory behind playing 4 Force Negations when everybody plays 1 or 2. Okay, this hand's freaking great. This is exactly the kind of hand we want. Doesn't have any pressure, but we'll get there. They mold a 6. Thoughtseize is just insane against their deck. If they could force the Thoughtseize and we can't do anything about it, this is going to let us map out the next few turns, figure out what to prioritize forcing, figure out whether we pitch the Hydroblast or the Ponder, figure out a lot of stuff. Okay. Gristlebrand in the deck. I'm just going to take the Brainstorm. Good luck over there. You're going to need some top decks. All right, the Mistrise is troubling because that does mean they will eventually win if we don't win, and our deck is super slow to win, but that's a good draw. I'm just going to get it on the table. I think it's better to get it on the table and have something going on. And then next turn we can ponder and try to find a second. Really what we're trying to find now is Harbinger. So we can stop the Mistrise. Isn't there a movie called Moonrise Village? And this is like Mistrise Village? It is Moonrise Kingdom, not Moonrise Village. Wes Anderson movie. I didn't see it. Okay. Bowmaster speeds things up dramatically. My instinct is play this land out because we're definitely going to want to play this land out in case they spell pierce. Now we can ponder. This does take us off Hardcast Force, but we've got double blue card. I think this is shuffle. What are we looking for? Thoughtseize. Force is fine. It's not everything we need, though. I'm going to hope that we can Bowmaster. And in this case, I am going to try to ambush Bowmaster. I wouldn't normally do that. This also allows us to hold up Hydroblast and hold up Surveil. But I think we'll definitely play the Bowmasters rather than Surveil here. Moonrise is out. Puddle. Stock up. I mean, they seem crazy to force that, but they're just sitting there with nothing going on. They have literally nothing going on over there. And I need to tempo them. I'm going to stop it. And I'm keeping the Force Negation up because I can just use it next turn. So this has to get an island. So we can hardcast Force Negation. And then we're just going to basically try to do chip damage. Yeah, and the reason I did that there, like one of the reasons was if they have so much mana that Mistrise Village does, give them uncounterability. So now we're hitting them for 3 each turn, which is a little bit better of a clock. Draw them wild. See if we can draw Thoughtseize. Yeah. If we do Thoughtseize, it takes us off Hardcast Force, but maybe they don't have any. Okay. They do have Force. They're not going to, we just need to take away their thing that they can put in that does stuff. This isn't the greatest thing. It's just, yeah, they're not going to want to even do it in front of Bowmasters, but I think we take it anyway. And they may be able to find another thing over the next few turns. Yeah. I don't think taking like a stray force when we have a force ourselves is like the greatest. They've got tons of mana over there. Now if they draw like show and tell, like we don't have to worry about like holding back a blocker or anything like that. Thoughtseize. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do it. I'll do it now. They only got to draw one card. I don't think it was a known card. Worst case scenario, we take their force. Okay, they have an Ancient Tomb. We're very dead to like Emrakul, but they have a lot of bad draws now. And they need to draw at least 2 things to get out of where they are. So next turn, I may just hold up Force Negation. But realistically, if they find something they want to cast, they're going to cast it with Mistrise. I think we wait and see if we can snag some stuff under Back to Basics. Is that correct? Because I think it's unlikely that they get to do anything here. I'm just going to chill. Because now I have like Hydroblast plus Force Negation. But again, Mistrise Village is going to stop us from countering anything here. If they just have it, they just have it. They have gotten lots of turns due to the sluggishness of our deck. We've not found a Kaito or anything. We still like to find like a Bowmasters just to end the game a turn earlier. I think that goes in the graveyard because it doesn't impact the game at all. Okay. So Bowmasters to end the game, please. Yeah, that's not good. It doesn't even matter if we play it out. Maybe we use the mana for something. Now we can pay for Spell Pierce at least. World's slowest beatdown, while your AB opponent just sees that they can draw their A and their B. Not like super fun, engaging content, my friends. But I don't get to choose the matchups. Okay. That was... I mean, it may have seemed like that was just a bad keep, frankly. They shouldn't have kept that hand, but still, like, this is definitely a blind spot for the deck. Like, the fact that we can have so much dominance for so long and still kind of, like, maybe not win. So they didn't see Back to Basics, so I'm still hoping to snag something under there. They are playing a pretty shoddy mana base in terms of, like, they probably have, like, 2 basics in there. And Goyf would have definitely accelerated, but I think this is a pretty rare situation. This is a mulligan. Don't even look at the cards if you have no laner. This is an Island Ponder double force with Thoughtseize. Unfortunately, I don't have an Underground Sea in my hand in my deck, so I can't both Ponder and like I would definitely Thoughtseize and then the subsequent turn Ponder. I think that would be strong. I do want to keep I want to keep everything in this hand. The card goes back is probably Force Negation. No, it's got to be Back to Basics. Because we may draw additional blue cards that we can pitch to Force Negation. But Back to Basics is at least 3 turns away. And that would be if we like perfectly drew lane. Volk Ponder. I think it's worth going ahead and just Thoughtseizing them. But then, no, I need to find land. We'll see what we draw. But like, let's say hypothetically we like don't know. We are going to get a card. But I think let's just assume that the card is not a land. I'm going to fetch Island and Ponder. If I find a land, obviously I'll Thoughtseize and I'll be very... And because the deck is built the way it is, we know that the land we find is going to be a land, an island. Or that we can, you know, if we draw the Catacombs, we can just go get the... Mockingbird is a blue card for Force. I'm glad I put back Back to Basics. I am just going to Island Ponder just like my opponent did. Like G did. Okay. And that reference, apropos of nothing, is in... this is very good. Yeah, like I'll take more forces. So we just have double Force blue card. I kind of do want to get in with the Strix. At the same time, I want to acknowledge the importance of this force if we do need to get into a future force fight. Yeah, I'll put the Strix in hand. Because I do think it's worth just getting on the board and doing something. And then that's something we can copy with Mockingbird, and it takes forever to win with it, but it's better than nothing. Pedal. Come on, just go all in. You know you want to. You don't want to wait for the Mistrise Village. You just want to combo. You're a combo player. Show and tell. You don't say. All right. That was good. They use a lot of resources for that. They're down to 3 cards. They could have another one, but like I don't think they likely have another one. I think what I want to do is just Bowmaster right now, main phase it, get on the board, keep the Force blue card up, and start beating them. Because how do they win? They draw a bunch of lands and they get a second chance. We know they have an enabler. We'll take that later. I don't think they're going to be able to do it again next turn. Like, I guess they could draw like an Ancient Tomb. Had they had Ancient Tomb, they would have played it out instead of messing with those petals. Now we can Thoughtseize them. Hopefully we draw a land for the Strix, but I can't really play the Strix out until I get a blue card. So I'm not going to get both a blue card and a Strix. Oh, that's pretty good. So I think it is correct to just go ahead and if we Strix, it turns the clock up. And then we can wait a turn. They're going to need to draw a land or another force. I think the safest thing to do is to just take a turn off. And that'll give us information. Okay, they have nothing but like good stuff to put in. So we want to take the Omni here because, well, I mean, any of these were dead. It doesn't matter. We don't have an answer to Emrakul. Omni, actually, if they put an Omni in, they still have to find something to do. So if we get two Thoughtseize type effects, I think it's actually correct to take the Atraxia here because we could also get rid of the other thing and then they don't have like anything to use with Omni. I'm going to go ahead and ponder now since I have the Strix. I'm looking for Kaito. These are not bad cards. I think we just hold them because, yeah, like over the course of the next few turns, I think they'll be okay. So I'll Strix next turn. That'll increase my clock. Then I'll still have Force blue card up. So we're definitely going to be able to stop them if they go for the combo next turn because they can't draw both protection spell and they need to draw a land as well. So they need a lot with this hand. They're going to Surveil. This is kind of a fun matchup because there is like a lot of problem solving and planning involved. Okay, so we're drawing a known dud in the sense that like it's just a blue card for force. Draw through this. They're still waiting for their land. They have just like 3 turns basically, or like maybe like 4 turns. If they fetch or do anything like that, then they have 4 turns. Okay. I think I am going to brainstorm now because if I find another Thoughtseize, that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and start with the brainstorm. Okay, I don't think we need this land. I don't think we need the brainstorm. I've got one already. This preserves like the spread. Now we attack in. We just keep up 2 cards. I can end step Surveil. I'm not going to be able to get a island with this anyway. Surveil. Another Thoughtseize would be good. Kaito would be great because that would dramatically improve our clock while also helping us dig and giving us a potential answer to Emrakul. It goes in the yard. Oh, draw more. Well, I do want to find a Kaito. I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm. This is fine. I'll put back Force Negation, Prismatic Vista. I can play a land. I should have kept the Force Negation. That was bad because I could have hardcast it. I'll attack. I'm going to go ahead. Like, maybe it was a mistake to do what I did because I could have... Another thing I could have done there, I'm going to fetch and just get an island and ponder here. Another thing I could have done there is potentially found a Bowmaster, which would have done more damage. There it is. So, Harbinger is potentially good. I think we take the Harbinger, and then next turn we cast Harbinger, and that probably locks up my opponent out of a lot of their counterplay. The Bowmasters would not end it next turn, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to 2-turn clock either way. I'll take this Force Negation just in case, like, yeah, chill. Okay, that's it. Kind of anticlimactic, but that's what the game looks like when you're controlling them sufficiently. They never get their spell off. I think it's a fool's errand to try to stop them from doing their degenerate stuff, like just stop the actual enabler that lets it happen. So we got a chest and 100 play points because we 3-2'd. Let's take another look at the deck. So I think Goyf is a good 2-of. I'm not sure about the 4th Mockingbird. It came up in the Delver matchup pretty strong. Pretty good. There are lots of situations where you just don't have 3 mana, even when you're playing all basics, because we are an 18 lane deck. We don't want to draw lots of late game lands. We have cantrips in other ways, like we're drawing cards off Baleful Strix. We're going to find a land eventually, but there are some scary turns early on when you don't necessarily know that you're going to find a land off of the Island Ponder. Going up to 19 lands would allow that to happen. However, I don't really want to change the mana base. This Undercity Sewer was a huge improvement. It came up all the time, but it was in one of our hands that we would have otherwise kept. So it gives and takes. This was previously a fetch. Sideboard seems fine. I don't think 2 EE is right. Like, this card felt pretty bad the entire time, even against Moon Stompy. It was just like, do we really want to, go down spend like 3 mana taking care of this thing The loss against Painter was rough. That was definitely like the low point of the league, in my opinion. Like I didn't know what I was supposed to counter, and like, the low point of the league was absolutely discovering that when you Blood Moon and you have an Urza Saga out, now you can create a construct every turn. It makes your Urza Saga better instead of killing yours. It's like they took one of the most powerful cards in Legacy and they just doubled its power. That's kind of what happened, and I do think that that's going to be seriously impactful because now Moon Stompy. There was a time when there was a tension between like, oh, do you play like big Painter Stompy with like Ancient Tombs, or now I think there's not going to be red Painter anymore. I think it's just going to be Moon Stompy with Painter in it. I don't think there's much of a trade-off anymore, and I don't really like those kinds of decks. I don't like One Ring. I don't think the One Ring is going to get banned, even though I think it should get banned. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw just these Urza Saga Moon Stompy decks dominating, because I mean it takes away the drawback. Like you take the drawback and you make it like a plus. It's crazy. Okay, so if we take the Engineered Explosives, what do we put in its place? Well, I will also say that Harbinger is a lot less good when your opponent's Urza Saga actually like is good under a Harbinger. Like, I don't know. I'm really disappointed in Tilted with that rule change. Yeah, and this makes lands better. It makes Moon Stompy better. It makes all the Painter strategies better, and it makes us a lot weaker. I'm trying to think of like how we adapt to that. As a blue-black deck, I don't know if there's anything we can do. We don't have enchantment removal. Unfortunately, Powder Keg doesn't hit it doesn't hit enchantments. It's just artifacts and creatures. And I do think Engineered Explosive is way better than Powder Keg right now. Could be we're supposed to go up a Disruptor Flute, but like Disruptor Flute is a tempo card. Like it's best in a tempo shell, and we don't have any tempo elements. I will tell you that I think I am going to go back up to Goyf number 3. He was pretty good. And we'll just take out a Mockingbird. I think that's a safe change. It does raise our curve. Yeah, I think actually Dress Down might be like legit here. It's pretty bad because it takes away a lot of our abilities. Makes our Goyfs like 0-1s. It can't be Dress Down. The card just is too disynergistic with our deck. You know what we could do? Okay, check this out. I'm going to try this. I'm going to go up to 3 Kaitos because Kaito can pitch to force. And then if we put this in, boom, so many ways of enabling Kaito. And then we just go straight Kaito and we just move the barrows to the side. And then we go up to like 3 barrows. I don't know. That's moving a lot of stuff around. But I will say that Kaito's good early game. Whereas, like, let me kind of change the size so we can see. Goyf is not synergistic with our deck. It's just a generically good card. And there's nothing wrong with generically good cards, but Disruptor Flute is a 2-of, also seems kind of sketch. I think these are 1-ofs. Goyf is a 2-of. We could go up to 3-of. Man, there's just going to be so much Moon Stompy. I don't know. I mean, if we take this out completely, I mean, it was pretty stinky during the league. And we go up to 3 Goyfs. Like, there are lots of matchups where I wish I had 3 Goyfs. I think against Urza Saga constructs, Goyf is great because he's bigger than a lot of them. And, they can't attack in profitably because he can just block and kill them. Yeah. And then we're basically just like, if we need to put the pedal on the metal, if we're in like a fair matchup, Goyf's good. But in fair matchup, in unfair matchups, combo matchups, Goyf's terrible because he doesn't pitch to force. I think we do want a 19th land. I don't think it should be Sink into Stupor. I know Sink into Stupor is a good general card. I think I'm actually going to put Fell the Profane in here. That way we have 19 lands. And we're always, like, there were several situations where we were really sweating our mana. We put Fell the Profane in, and then what we can do is, because we added a black source, we can kind of add a virtual blue source. Because usually we are wanting to go grab a blue source turn 1, unless we're up against combo and we absolutely need a Thought Season. I've been incredibly impressed with Fell the Profane in all my black, like mono black. I did a double league with Pox, which was fun. You should watch that if you haven't watched it. And then, and I think the card is just the best double-faced card ever, basically. Because it does come up a lot of times. You're late in the game, you're like, oh, what am I going to do? Oh, yeah, I've got like Fell the Profane in my deck. It's pretty awesome. Witch Enchanter is a white creature that's also quite good. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to do next league. I really like just leaning fully into, Kaito. I've been a big fan of Kaito since he was printed, and I think Kaito is at his best. We just have cheap creatures that enable him. against, you know, like any creature deck that's gunning for your life total, Goyf will absolutely come in, and you'll probably take out some Mockingbirds. You'll probably be taking out your Thoughtseize anyway. So I don't know. I can do the full sideboard mapping and post a follow-up, but overall the deck feels great. Considering that you can build this for like $800. We beat a wide range of decks. I think we could have probably beaten that painter deck if I played tighter and like had a better kind of like idea of what I needed to do there. I don't know why. I felt like totally helpless as my opponent was just going up on cards every turn, casting stock ups, and I didn't think it was correct to force. And also a lot of times I'd cast something that I thought was going to be important, and then they'd, you know, it's like, okay, do I use my force here? I don't think I use my force. And maybe I was just too conservative with using my forces. If you have time to rewatch that and leave comments and timestamps, like that'll be extremely helpful for me because I'm trying to figure out what I was doing wrong there. But I definitely feel like I was doing something wrong there, if that makes sense. All right, well, I'm going to leave it there. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.